you see that blue light? We're like, what the freak is that? She's like, yeah, that's the billboard on University.
That thing is bright. You're
So we
sitting
can
there
see
at
it
the
from
light,
all
and
the
it's
way
giving you seizures when it switches.
Yeah, no,
It's
straight
so
up.
bright.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Hot Tub Talks. I'm Chip.
I'm Garrett.
I'm Wade.
Let's do this thing. I have something horribly disappointing to tell you all. It's horrifying.
Oh, no.
When I was on my way here, I went to Cane's, right? And I was driving here, and I saw a G-Wagon on my way out. I was like, it's the Fortnite car!
Oh my gosh. Did you
That's
say
what my
that
brain-
legit?
No, that's what
or-
my brain said. I was like, there's the
Move
car
along,
from
yeah, we're
Fortnite. I was seriously confused. It was
Because
like,
I will say that, like, if I see Iron Man, I'm like, oh, that's the guy from Fortnite.
Yeah.
You know, as a joke.
no, like my brain went, that's where I recognized it first.
Oh, I said that about Margaret Thatcher recently.
But why?
I don't know.
So anyways, that's
I was
been on my
just
brain.
thinking about, because you know how you, like, do themes in Fortnite?
Yeah.
Like, when you're doing
Right.
whatever,
Yeah.
I guess. I was thinking about, like, oh, like, we could do, like, from our favorite game. Or, like, a game we like.
Yeah.
And then I was like, someone just do default skin, because that's from Fortnite. Because I was going to do, like, the Lethal Company one. I don't know what other games there are in there.
Whatever.
That's funny. All right, well, today we're going to talk about the Mammoth and the Jazz, the local sports, and then on top of that, after the break, we've got other more localized things such as the Lego store in the mall and Provo Town Center if we get to it, because they've got new plans. So let's jump right into it. What do you guys think? The Mammoth has been officially revealed.
It's officially official.
Officially
I
official.
like it.
That my
like,
coyotes
obviously-
died for this.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I expected it. Like, I was like, there's no way Mammoths don't win.
Yeah.
But after seeing the merch on, like, the logo on hats and stuff, I'm like, that's clean.
It was definitely the best logo of the choices.
What's funny is, like, of the voted choices where they had the mock-ups of each logo, this is not the Mammoth logo that
I was
was
gonna
voted
say,
on.
Right.
It's kind of the combination of both the Yeti and the Mammoth logo that was
Oh,
proposed.
because
yeah.
the mountains weren't original.
Yeah,
were
the
they?
mountains weren't. The
Oh.
other one had like two tusks. It was a little more cartoony, less
Mm.
straight lines. But we've already talked previously on this channel about the death of the Utah Yeti, which we will mourn.
Right.
I do still wish it was Yeti, but that being said, after seeing the mock-up, I still think Mammoth would have been a better logo.
Yeah.
Is the best logo possibility, but I would have liked the name Yeti. So, and you can't have both.
Yeah.
So
that's
like.
true.
I'm very happy with Mammoth. I like the color scheme a lot.
I like that
scheme's
they
sweet.
kept the color scheme.
Yeah.
from
It
the
looks
Utah
better as this than
Yeah.
it was
Oh,
before.
100%.
Because before I was like,
Yeah.
eh.
Yeah.
Now it's like, that looks clean.
It's kind of nice because I feel like, obviously they wouldn't have known, but from like early polling, they're like, it doesn't matter what we do, it's gonna be Yeti or Mammoth, and these colors would work for either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
I do not respect the people who think that we should have kept it as Utah Hockey Club. I hate that. I hate that
it is
so
a
much.
pretty
It's
horrible
boring.
name. It is a
It's
pretty
like the
horrible
Browns or the frickin' the logo of the Commanders or the
Yeah, it's just
Athletics. Like boo, Mammoth.
boo.
name. I like the A's.
Yeah. Wow. Just kidding. I like them because of Moneyball. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
But you have the Predators. That's a pretty horrible name.
That's true.
Like-
that was pretty bad. Okay, just because
Jeffrey
there's worse
Epstein is
than
their
bland.
mascot.
I'm just saying it's bland. I'm not saying it's the.
To be fair though, the Predators have like the other coolest logo.
I like this logo. Okay, here's my hot take on the whole process. I think if you are sitting from where we are, us three, this was a horrible, horrible idea. Because what I've seen, I'm part of the Utah Hockey Club, now the Utah Mammoth Facebook fan page.
Yeah.
And what I have seen,
Where did all these people wanting Outlaws come from? They came out of the
I don't
Outlaws
know.
was not that bad.
I don't know.
It is better than Utah Hockey Club.
but they like
Yeah.
came out of the woodwork.
I didn't even know it was an option.
And it
I-
was the worst of the three,
like-
except
Yeah.
for maybe Utah Hockey Club.
It's better than Utah Hockey Club. Definitely not as better as this.
Yeah.
And the color scheme wouldn't
Remember
have
when
worked
they almost
with
tried to
the
make
Outlaws.
Wasatch?
Yeah, that
I
one
liked
was bad.
Wasatch. That one
And-
was
No,
fine.
that's bad.
That's why they dropped that because fans got really mad as that as a finalist, and they put in Outlaws as the.
And then
other
all of a sudden, a
Right.
ginormous
Yeah.
mountain of people come out of nowhere.
Outlaws, we need to be outlaws. We need to be outlaws. I'm like, I don't think you understand the demographics of the people who live in Utah.
Well, Mammoths works better for
Oh
hockey.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mammoth
yeah.
is so cool.
Anyways, so So yeah, I'm a part of the thing. If you're standing where I'm standing, this is a terrible idea because I have watched the mob vote for Minecraft for years, and you know what that's caused? It's caused
Pain.
2/3 of people
Pain.
to be mad with the name. And you know what I see on the fan page? 2/3 of people are like, "Shut up."
Yeah.
Where were they for voting though? Like obviously, if 2/3.
No, but that's been the Minecraft thing for years, and that's why they eventually removed the mob vote. Was because
they're like,
that's the thing. It would always tick off a bunch of people, and it's like, yeah, you get to vote. Yeah, you get
they
to
don't
choose.
do that anymore.
No, they don't.
Was 2023 the last time they did it?
Yeah, I think they've replaced it with something or something.
Well, my favorite thing is all the people who are pissed off at Mammoth. I go look at their Facebook profile, and it's just them on their.
It's a Mexican with the mustache.
No, it's some random.
That's not gonna make any sense.
It's
if I
some
leave
random
that.
like hyper macho dude who definitely like slides in to too young of women's DMs.
So you're saying it's a Vasa member?
Yes. Yes, and it's always these hyper macho dudes, and all their pictures are just them on their custody weekends with their kids, like that, and that's it.
No, yeah,
That's horrible.
absolute bots. But like, I don't know. I just feel like a vote of 3 was.
I'm
Dubious.
almost wondering if they should not have narrowed it down. I understand why they narrowed it down to get a better
Or yeah,
one,
not narrowing it
because
down.
like the initial list was like 20 names.
Yeah, totally.
And
What
but
were they?
oh yeah, there's so many. Oh,
Like
Well,
that-
Outlaws
they've
was
got to
on
be
there.
some horrible names on there.
oh yeah, there was like the Swarm.
Ooh, this one would have been bad.
The only one
Yeah,
that I
to
would have
try
been
to
okay
mix
with
with the
that doesn't
bees.
make sense, and
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but in the Last of Us. Have you played that game?
Yeah,
You go to Salt Lake,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
you see a poster of a hockey team,
Really?
and I can't remember what it was, but that would have been sick too if
Yeah.
they
I'm gonna
predict,
Google that. But
if they
anyways, go on.
predicted it. It definitely wasn't. I think it was like, I don't know, giraffes or no.
I don't know. I don't
Um,
want The Last of Us.
Do you know
is
what?
ass.
Going a little back to what we were talking about, horrible names. Volunteers is a pretty horrible name too.
Yeah, that one is
Actually,
bad.
the history of it's kind of cool.
What is it?
Essentially, it's just actually, let's Google it so I'm not on the record screwing it up.
It's the
Is it-
snakes.
It was the snakes.
Snakes.
That would have been
The
fine
snakes.
too for Utah,
That would have been fun. Yeah.
but not as good as the.
The
Mammoth,
colors are
but-
better. These colors are yellow.
Just look up Tennessee Volunteers. I guess name, reason. I don't know. Origin. There.
What
yeah.
the frick is a volunteer?
That's exactly what it sounds. So yeah, the nickname originated from the state's strong tradition of volunteers stepping forward and to serve times of war. Because Tennessee's got like the highest population of people like volunteering to go to
Mm.
war.
That's sick.
Oh,
So that's why.
that's dumb.
I like it.
It's
I like
similar
it.
to like
That's fair.
the Sooners, the Oklahoma Sooners.
That one's worse.
No, look up the Sooners name.
Oh my gosh, suit.
The Sooners sounds better.
I
than
disagree.
volunteer. Years.
Name origin, yeah. So essentially, it's also it's like
Land run of 19. During the run, the people who entered the newly opened lands before the design starting time were called Sooners.
So it's
Oh,
the
so
people
they're
who
like-
came in, settled the area,
Yeah. Okay.
and then because I get
Sooner
it.
better than
And,
later.
I'm like, and come to find out, like the history of mammoth in Utah, like the actual fossils, like Utah holds the record
Yeah.
for most mammoth skeletons found.
Yeah, but that's
And-
sick.
I know, and it's sick. It's
A
really
volunteer, like
anything is like the history is really cool. Like University of Utah being the Utes, like the
well, I'm
Utes,
fine with
and
the.
then like BYU being the Cougars for like all the Draper moms. Like, it's
Why is it not in Salt Lake then?
hey,
They really should have
Utah,
swapped them. You're
the
right.
Utah County
Yeah, they
moms
should
are
have.
definitely Cougars, bro.
It's for all the,
Utah. Let's just say Utah in
it's for
general.
all the women who go to BYU, don't get married, and then are still on the hunt.
Yeah, dude. Like if you come out single, then you failed. Give me back your degree.
Now you're a true cougar.
Yeah. Cougar for life.
Hey,
Cougar
wait-
for life.
Wait a minute. Isn't there someone we know that did that? Anyway. You might need to cut that out. That might be
Yeah,
too
we'll see.
obvious.
Anyways, so yeah, I like the Utah Mammoth name. I do think it's kind of like, again, from my point of view, it's a mob vote that ended up ticking off a lot of people.
Yeah.
But in the end, I think it worked out well. Most people are fine. I think the logo's sick. I think it turned out super
So
well.
happy.
Like I am part of the
Yeah,
winning
it is
team.
sick.
So I have a story about this reveal.
yes.
I'm at a work conference. It's our annual like company offsite in
Yeah.
downtown Salt Lake.
Dude, offsites are they're the best. I
No,
love
it was
offsites.
brutal. It was so boring. I'm just kidding. I had fun.
Yeah,
It was
go
a lot
ahead.
of fun. Anyways, I'm literally like sitting at one of the tables and I see the press release and like
Mhm.
watch the video. I'm like, yes. And then they're like, merch at the team store only.
No
and
way.
so, and I'm like, I'm only a few blocks away from there. So on my lunch break, because they gave us an hour for lunch, and I was like, oh, sick. Yeah, I got plenty of time. But it was going to be like a 10, 15-minute walk. So I was like, yeah, that's cutting it too close. So I hopped on one of those little like scooter things.
Those
Oh.
lime.
And I
Oh.
just,
Lime scooters?
dude, yeah, the lime scooter. I zoomed. Like, I got there in like 2 minutes. I
That's
was scared
awesome.
at how fast I was going.
You know, I hate those scooters.
I love
I
those.
love the. It was
Do you
so
know why I
fun.
hate them? This is my only experience with them. One time I was late to a game, and
Okay.
so I think, okay, shoot, I parked at your old place because that's where I used to park for games.
Oh, yeah.
And I have to get all the way down there, and it's a little cold, and I'm like, sick, I'll just take one of these, right? I activate it.
Oh, it doesn't work on BYU campus.
Not only that,
Yeah.
like the whole pathway was temporarily blocked because of the game. And what sucked about it is where they parked it, because it was a temporary block,
Yeah.
they parked it legally. But now, in order for me to just park it legally, I had to go across the street. It was one of those big Provo
Yeah.
streets where it's like there's a bunch of traffic. It's a whole thing. And I'm like, I'm not lugging this thing across the street because I accidentally can't use it to get to where I'm going. So I
Yeah.
just abandoned it. And then I demanded my money back, and I did. But, like, I hate that you can't. I couldn't see where the no zones were
Yeah.
until after I had
you
activated it. I'm
started,
like,
yeah.
bro. So I hate those just because now I'm paranoid. I'm like, where else can't I use them? You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
As
Like,
long as you don't use it during a game, pretty much anywhere.
yeah, well, who
Well,
knew?
Yeah, not on campus.
Yeah.
Why is he going on campus? UVU probably doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not big enough. UVU
Yeah,
just
Yeah, that's
walk.
true.
It's a lot more compact.
Anyway, keep going with your
But,
story.
Yeah.
So I zoomed down to the Delta Center. The line was like out the door all the way to the curb and around all the way to the gateway. So like
Yeah.
around the entire arena.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, frick, this sucks. I'm
Yeah.
not getting in. And then I'm walking and I run into my buddy Andrew, and who's like the other big hockey fan that I go to a lot of games with. And he's
Yeah.
just like, son of a I knew you would be here.
Yeah.
I knew you would be here. And I was like, yeah. You on your lunch break too? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So we just chill in line for like 20 minutes, but it doesn't move an inch.
Right.
And so I'm like, well, poop,
Yeah.
whatever. I got to get back. So I zoom, but they're handing out like free of those like terrible towels things,
Uh-huh.
you know, with the logo on it, like first official piece of Mammoth merch. So I
Mm.
got a couple of those.
The loincloths.
Yeah, the loincloths.
Yeah.
And so I head back. And then after the offside is over, like I know the store closed at 6,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, we ended at like 5:30. So I was like, I could get to my car, and then there's like 3 temporary spots just north of the Delta Center that are only 2-hour parking, and they're free
Mm-hmm.
because they're parking for something else. But I was like, but they're never open. They're never
Right.
open. I was like, if one of those spots is open, I'm just gonna go drive by it and see. Sure enough, it's there, and it's like 5:55. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, park. Go. So I go
Yeah.
in, get my hat,
Heck
get
yeah,
out.
man.
I was like, I promise I'll be quick. I'll be like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just run to the hat wall. I'm like, that one.
Nice.
So you're
Give
gonna
it to
come
me.
with me, is what you're saying? To
Yeah, I'll
get
go.
me one.
I'll go with you. I hate you.
Well, that's awesome. That's good.
And so yeah, and then I got out of there like right as they were closing. So it was
Yeah.
sick.
Nice. That's good.
Nice.
Well, I just gotta get me a Bees jersey now.
Oh
Nice
my
jersey.
gosh.
I'm gonna get me one.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Anyways, another quick news on the Delta Center and all. The Jazz suck, and they got the
Oh,
fifth
they got
pick.
absolutely shafted.
Hosed.
Yeah,
Oh my
Hosed.
gosh.
yeah. So
NBA's
The
rigged.
Jazz
Don't watch it
were
anymore.
they were clearly tanking, and that's how the only like the way they
so explain what's with tanking?
essentially.
Why do we suck this year?
You have to, once you peak out, especially in basketball, less so in other sports. A good thing to do is just tear down your roster and acquire a bunch of draft picks, because
Yeah.
like you're gonna. It's essentially like selling high and then buying low. So
Mhm.
all your really good players, like this is as good as they're gonna be. You can trade them to other teams, get a lot of compensation in return, and then suck for a couple years and then get really high draft picks. So the
Right.
goal is what the Oklahoma City Thunder did. Paul George, Russell Westbrook, both in their primes, doing great. OKC was like, we've capped out. We're not getting any higher. We've tried this like 6 years in a row. It's not working. They traded both of them. They got like, I think like 15 draft picks between just those two players and then a bunch of other key pieces. And then they suck for 2 years, 2-3 years. In those 2-3 years, they get really high draft picks to draft now like the really good players in the draft because they're picking first.
Yeah.
And then the goal is that you can use all those other draft picks that you've acquired from other teams in trades. So the goal is like build the young core, and then you need like 1 or 2 really good veterans that you trade for. This model, like, it's worked really well. Like, this is how Golden State won their very first ring with Steph Curry. Like, they had Andre Iguodala as the veteran. It's just, it's a tried and true formula. It can work, but it doesn't always work, like, i.e. the Philadelphia 76ers tried this notoriously and kind of sputtered out and failed because they whiffed on some of their picks. The problem is, so the Jazz finally kind of embraced the suck. Like, the Jazz have been a team that have, like, notoriously, they're like, we don't tank.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find a way to build the roster, but like the Jazz, like they cap out in the second round of the playoffs. So we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
So new ownership was like, all right, let's embrace the tank. We're gonna suck.
Yep.
Like we traded.
And we have.
Literally,
I was listening
worst
to the radio.
Season in Jazz history.
Local businesses have felt how bad they have sucked.
Yeah.
Like restaurants in the area are like, yeah, it's kind of been a low point right now.
So here's the
nobody's
thing.
going to games.
This is the thing. The Jazz have the 5th highest winning percentage of any NBA team.
Really?
Which is crazy because they've won the most games out of any sports team without winning the championship.
That's insane.
Which really sucks.
Yeah.
Because it shows they know how to build a roster, but they can't get the job done.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so, long story short, the NFL draft is a little bit different in that it's just a reverse order of the standings at the end of the season. Worst team picks first. NBA draft is not quite like that. It's the few worst teams. It's almost like the Hunger Games, where it's like they're picking your name out of like this hat or something. But the worst teams get
a hollowed out basketball.
But like technically, almost any team still has a chance to get the 1 pick.
Yeah.
But it's like most of obviously the really good teams have like no chance or like just like 1 card in there out of hundreds. And then the Jazz have like 30 cards, you know?
Yeah.
So then they spin it up and then they pick one. The NBA has been accused of rigging this for years, and I've never put that much thought into it until recently because I felt the effects of it.
Yeah.
The Jazz got shafted.
Yeah. How so?
What
was our percentage to get the first 3
We had
picks?
the 14% chance. However, that's the highest percentage that any team had. Like, we were tied with the Hornets, and I think the Wizards all had 14%. And then
the top 3. Which, you think about that, that's what, 30, 40, 45% together?
Yeah.
Like that's
between the 3 worst teams.
That's pretty high. Yeah. When you got, how many teams are in the NBA?
30.
Yeah, that's 40% held by 3 teams. Like, that's crazy.
Like, one of those 3 teams should get it. No, the Dallas Mavericks got the number 1 pick.
Boo!
They were literally in the playoffs this year. Like, they were in the play-in game if you consider that the playoffs are not.
So
but still,
what was their chance?
Just over 1%. People are calling this rigged because they recently traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers.
Yeah. Which, now that we're speaking a different language, this trade, this is how I've heard it explained to me.
This was like the worst trade
in the middle of his high career.
In the middle of the season.
In the middle of the season. On a random Tuesday night or whatever night it was.
They played in the championship just last season.
The best player, one of the best players.
Arguably the best player in the league.
Arguably the best player in the league right now. In the middle of the night, gets traded for some random dude.
No, it was for Anthony Davis and a few other players and picks.
Yeah,
but Anthony Davis is he's don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but
he's just fine.
He's no Luka Doncic.
But what's crazy about it? So first, the first thing is that, to my understanding, this is like trading a new iPhone 16 Plus for like a 12 mini.
You get a 12 mini. You probably get some
AirPod ones.
You get some AirPod ones, and you get an iPod Touch Nano.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
And then, yes, a few other trinkets.
Yeah.
Here's some old earbuds that probably don't work as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Some wired ones.
Yeah.
That don't plug in directly because you don't have the dongle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's also crazy is this was done by the owners of the team, and nobody else knew about it.
Yeah, well, obviously the GM had to sign off on it, but he was kind of like strong-armed into doing it by ownership.
You know what's wild as well is everyone was accusing Mark
Cuban
about this. He sold the team.
Yeah, he sold the team.
Everyone's yelling at him.
He was he had no, because he wouldn't have let it happen.
Oh no.
So now the theory is NBA was like, hey,
and they like boycotted their team.
Oh yeah,
like it was bad. There was riots in the streets.
There's
not really, but they were mad.
But
the Mavericks were mad.
Like you trade the best player in the league, arguably the face of the league, to the most popular franchise in the league. With
don't get me wrong.
With LeBron James, like
he's no Angel Reese. Like, come on.
She's not even good.
So do you think that Cooper Flag is going to compete with Luka?
He is a generational talent. I think he might end up being better than Luka.
So that's could he be better?
In turn, it did them a favor.
Yeah.
Could he be better than LeBron?
That's a huge. I don't know. Like there's so many high.
He's not black. He's not allowed to do that.
But that's the thing. It's like, did the NBA come in and say like, hey, send him to LA. We need the ratings, and we'll give you generational prospect.
Right.
The chance to draft him. This has been a trend that like I saw pointed out today. Similar thing happened. LeBron left Cleveland to go to Miami.
Right.
Cleveland got the #1 pick right away, like that same offseason, even though they had just been good. And then they got multiple really high picks. Similar thing to Anthony Davis.
So good at that.
Anthony Davis from the Pelicans got traded to the Lakers, and then they quickly got Zion Williamson, who was another like generational prospect at the time. So it's super sus, and it also doesn't help that the NBA has a history of just completely treating their smaller franchises like shit.
Right.
So who got number 2, 3, and 4?
Oh, the Spurs got 2, and the Spurs were also pretty decent.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought they were pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's not even one of the 14% teams either.
Yeah. No.
Holy cow.
And then the Jazz dropped all the way down to 5.
I just don't understand how you don't get 1, which is fine. I'm not saying it's fine with the Mavericks, but you don't get 1. You don't get 2. You should at least get 3.
Yeah. So by the rules of the lottery, the Jazz could not have dropped further than 5th, and this was like an absolute worst case scenario that they got 5th.
Wow.
They were guaranteed at least a top 5, and they got 5.
That's ridiculous.
For being the worst team in the league.
Who got 4?
Let me check.
Because if it's not one of those 3 teams,
might as well look it up.
Yeah. Here we go.
So Mavericks,
Spurs,
Spurs
76ers,
Sixers,
which makes sense.
No,
Hornets.
Sixers weren't one of the. It was the Hornets, Jazz, and Wizards were the 3
but
worst
they're
teams.
a pretty high chance too.
Higher, but
and then
they
Hornets,
shouldn't have jumped that far.
And then Jazz.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the Wizards have to be almost guaranteed top 5 as well if the Jazz were?
Yeah, and so it was a worst case scenario
and
for
the Pelicans.
Honestly, it was a worst case scenario for all 3 of those teams. They all got shafted.
That's so strange.
What
are the odds?
What sucks as well
Pretty low, I guess.
What sucks as well is all the teams that like jump them are like obviously the more popular teams that they want, and on top of that, this year's draft in particular is very top heavy. Like outside of 1, 2, and 3, maybe like there's a steep drop off in talent. So it's like if you're not top picking that high, then whatever. We just got to get lucky and hope we find a diamond.
But now we're screwed again. We have to tank at least another year.
Not necessarily. Like we might find someone at 5.
Well, hopefully nobody takes Cooper Flag until 5.
No.
I know.
He's going 1. The Jazz could try to trade up. I don't know. They could use it to go get a superstar. I don't know.
The Mavericks are not going to trade up.
Oh, yeah. Mavericks aren't trading out of that spot.
They did this on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I think? It sounds like we just got to supercharge the viewer, the ratings, and the money that goes to the.
Well, how though?
The
suck
Jazz
so bad.
No, you're right. But like, I think as long as we put money into it, the league will go. Dang, this is our biggest money maker. They'll give us whatever we want. Clearly.
Hey, we'll give you this random.
We're playing a different game. We're
being
trying to
said,
play the
here's
game
the
they've
thing.
set up.
So-
We got to play the game that they're playing.
So, look.
Honestly.
Here's the thing, though. The NBA draft is only 2 rounds. It's not like the NFL where there's 7.
Right.
So that means each team by default only gets 2 picks in the NBA draft.
Mother and a father.
You know how I mentioned like part of the tank is acquiring picks?
Yeah.
1,
Two.
2. There was 3.
What do you mean? What do you
So
mean?
we only
The
get 2.
No, the Jazz have 3.
So we've
4.
got 1. We got 2 extra.
So the Jazz have 4 picks in this year's draft.
Did we get any?
Uh,
What did
and
we
you
get
know
for
where,
Donovan Mitchell?
where it'll say like from LA Clippers via.
That is Utah style. A father and a mother and a mother and a mother.
And so, obviously, the ones that have these parentheses, that means they were traded at some point. So
right.
this was the Mavericks pick, but Utah has it
Because they don't need it.
because they
They
got
don't
it in
need it,
some
yeah.
trade. But
So what do we get for Mitchell?
Mitchell, let's see.
Because I know they'll trade you. Oh, we'll give you our draft pick in 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Let's see who's okay. So we got Lauri Markkanen, who's actually really
So
freaking
is
good.
Sexton though.
Yeah, Sexton was okay. So we got 3 players, 3 unprotected first-round picks. So one of them was this year's, and then we have 1 in 27 and 1 in 29.
What's a unprotected?
two-
Is that the 5 thing that we got?
So essentially,
Where it can't be lower than
unprotected
5?
unprotected means that we get their pick no matter what.
Oh, I see.
Versus protected means if the pick somehow turns into like a top 5 pick or something, then we get the second round instead.
Oh, I
Mm.
see.
Unprotected means if the Cavs really suck and get the 1 pick, then Utah gets it. Like
Right.
Cavs got nothing for sucking,
We
but
were rooting for them to suck.
yes, we want them to suck.
But they didn't.
No,
Brutal.
they were frauds though. They got eliminated. So yeah, and then we got 2 pick swaps, which means likely in 26 they had a higher pick with us, but we just traded to a higher
Nice.
spot.
Which
so
could help us, I guess. in
so the
future.
Jazz in essence traded Donovan Mitchell and 2 picks for 3 first-round picks and 3 players and 2 second-round picks, which is a good haul. That's a lot for 1 player, but that's only the first part of the art
But
of
he
tanking.
was never.
The second, yeah.
The
any
second is
good
getting
after
those high
that.
picks.
Oh no, he's been great. He had an MVP.
Okay, but I mean he's been good, but not like
the
you don't hear
Cavalier.
him like Luka.
Yeah, no. But yeah,
I mean, he was the only
alas.
good thing about the Jazz.
Or the
Yeah.
Cavaliers.
I remember how fast they. Do you remember that Donovan Mitchell mural?
Oh
And so,
yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
remember how fast they
How-
covered
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
How quick they painted over that.
Yeah.
I do miss him. He was a fantastic
He
player.
was.
Well,
But so
good
that's
game. Until next year.
The Jazz nailed step 1 of the art of the tank, which is like sell your players high. Like that's an insane haul for 1 player. In fact, they got an even better haul for Rudy Gobert.
Whoops, my bad.
Step 2 is tank and get high picks, which
You know,
TBD.
at least it's 5. Yeah.
Yeah. And
It
then
was
step
supposed to
3
be
is
high.
actually do well in the draft. Like the roster reconstruct, like tearing it down, the art of tearing it down, there's an art, but like reconstructing it's even harder.
Yeah.
We're still at that point where we're starting to reconstruct it.
So how
and
many years until we win a game?
Honestly.
I would say we could probably suck again a lot this next season, but after that, we'll probably.
What we
start
needed to
being
do is pull a BYU where we're supposed to suck going into the Big 12, but we just absolutely
Yeah,
dominate it.
college sports roster construction. There's none of this.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's just you
Yeah.
gotta just recruit the heck out of,
Yeah.
high
it's
Because
school.
you
fair.
could just suck forever.
and then
Yeah.
just manage to get a bunch of good high schoolers 1 year randomly.
Yeah.
It's like Tulane, bro. That's how
That's
Tulane
true.
got good. They were garbage for so long.
I
and
hope
then
Tulane loses all of their games.
Hey,
this
I-
next
we-
season.
I like
No, we
Tulane.
like
love
Tulane.
I know,
Tulane.
not because I don't like them, just
We
because I want to
like
see the what's
Tulane.
the thing they have, the reverse.
the green wave.
No, it's the thing. It's like they have
Cowgirl.
no, they have this thing for winning, and then they have this thing for losing, and it's called the thing for winning, and then it's called the reverse thing for losing. I can't remember what the thing's
I
called.
don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, Florida has the thing right now, and there's a chance very low that they
oh,
could
the
Tulane
MacGuffin.
gets
the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
So they have
MacGuffin.
MacGuffin, and then they
The
Tulane,
thing-a-ling.
Tulane has the reverse MacGuffin, and there's
The
a like less than 1% chance.
Why'd they let
That they
Dr.
could play
Seuss
each
decide the
other.
whole fate of this?
Do you know what the MacGuffin is?
No.
It's a rabbit hole. Okay, hold on. We gotta
Oh
explain
my
what the
God.
MacGuffin is.
All right.
So, very first football game ever played. It was between Yale and Rutgers. I can't
And the
remember.
ref was Dr. Seuss.
No, I can't remember. if I can't. I think
Who
Rutgers won.
I think Rutgers won.
So then they have the MacGuffin because they have the first ever win.
Oh,
And then whoever beats them has it.
I see.
So it's how to trace the lineage.
It's like the
of-
Elder Wand.
Yeah, of who's beaten who. BYU
Interesting.
had the MacGuffin a couple years ago for the
Really?
first time. Tulane had it and then lost it to Florida.
That is fascinating. I love this.
Yeah, hold on.
So now,
I'm
but now
loving
there's
this way
the
more than I
reverse
thought I would.
MacGuffin, which you can't win.
yeah,
Right, it's the lose.
So you lose. So if Tulane loses all of their games,
Uh-huh.
and then there's it's a big mess of who has to win Florida and this and this and this.
Right.
But there's a less than 1% chance that it could be the MacGuffin
Okay.
swap. Where they flip.
No way.
and that's never happened.
It never will. This is not going to be a time that happens, but I want to see it.
That's so cool.
I'm trying to find.
How did I not know about this? That's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah, Michigan had it for a little bit last year, and then I think Washington took it
That's
from
so
them.
cool.
So it's this guy on TikTok who's. Oh yeah, here we go.
What happens if the team with the MacGuffin plays the team with the reverse MacGuffin in the same game? It's called the MacGuffin swap, and it's never happened, but here's how it could happen this season. In week 1, Florida, who has the MacGuffin, would play Long Island and needs
Did I
to
say
win that game
Tulane?
to keep the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Okay,
Tulsa has
it's
the
meant
reverse
Tulsa.
MacGuffin and plays Abilene Christian, but it actually doesn't matter what happens in that game
because
because
Tulane
the
had
reverse
the
MacGuffin
MacGuffin,
is
but
not allowed
Florida
to go
took
into
it
the
from them.
FCS.
Oh,
in their own
okay.
game.
In
Okay,
week 2,
okay.
we need South Florida to beat the Gators. This graphic actually lies here. Florida should not win in week 2. And then New Mexico State needs to beat Tulsa to keep the reverse MacGuffin with Tulsa. Then in weeks 3 and 4, we need the MacGuffin and reverse MacGuffin to stay put, with South Florida beating Miami and SC State, and with Tulsa losing to Oklahoma State and Navy. From there, we need South Florida to lose coming off of their bye against Charlotte in week 6. Charlotte would then have the MacGuffin, and we would need them to beat Army in week 7. We need Charlotte's winning streak to come to a close in week 8 with a loss to
Which could
Provo.
happen.
All the
Yeah.
while,
Yeah.
we just need Tulsa to continue to lose. Outside of those Oklahoma State and Navy losses, they need to lose to Tulane, Memphis, and East Carolina, which is pretty doable.
A lot has to
And
happen
this would
for
set
this
up
to
the
Yeah,
first
actually
ever
work.
Which
MacGuffin
this would
swap
be-
chance in week
I would
9.
be
This
so
would be
excited.
something to
So
celebrate.
Yeah.
be so
Yeah, no,
excited.
we would get the
This would
sound
be a
system ready for that
historic
one.
day.
Yeah. Remember that BYU Baylor game when we were in the pool a couple
Yeah,
years ago?
yeah,
when
yeah,
they
yeah.
upset 'em? That's when BYU got the MacGuffin.
Really?
'Cause
Well,
Ba-
while we were
awesome.
celebrating in the pool.
Well, we didn't know it at the time because the MacGuffin wasn't a really popular thing.
Well,
But-
why would BYU get it anyway, you know?
Well, yeah. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Well,
Why
yeah,
would we
Ba-
expect that is what
yeah,
I mean.
Baylor had it.
And then we lost it the next game.
Yeah, and we lost it the next week. But
That is
mo-
fascinating.
that's how most teams with the MacGuffin. There's been like a few teams that have had the MacGuffin for a whole season too, which
Really?
is, I think is hilarious.
Did Georgia
That's
ever have
cool.
it when they had their winning streak? Because
Oh, yeah.
you might never
Yeah.
have a chance to get it because you
Right.
just like never play the
Yeah,
team. that-
yeah,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
Has
it's just kind of a fun thing.
That's
but
so cool. I love that so much.
It's the food chain.
Well, now
That's
you
awesome.
now you know.
Now I know. Well, let's go to break. We got to talk about the Lego store coming up. This episode of Hot Tub Talks is sponsored by Fossiled. Are you a fan of Utah Valley, the place, and a fan of the color green? Well, you can get a hat that says Utah Valley backwards in a nice shade of green. Are you a fan of Brigham Young, the man, the historical man, and a fan of the color blue? Well, you can get a hat that says Brigham Young backwards in a nice shade of blue. These hats are made by students for students at starving student prices. So if you're interested in picking up your own, click the link below. Thank you for Fossiled for sponsoring this episode. Welcome back, everybody. We're here to talk about the Lego store. I have very intriguing. So
We should preface with Provo Mall though, like it's a dump.
okay, so yeah. So
It is?
I want to look at this.
Yes.
I want to look at this from two
Well-
different angles. So
The Lego
first,
store's a dump.
No.
Oh.
no. Lego store's
Hold on.
great. It's perfect.
Yeah. Well.
First of all, I feel like the Lego store is this weird thing where usually you hear about something coming in, and like 3 years later, it's finally arrived. You're like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I feel like I heard about this 3 weeks ago, and now it's like, oh, it's here.
Yeah, we found out about it. What, like
We found out
March?
early though.
Yeah, we
They
found,
didn't announce this thing at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, they announced it like I want to say as soon as construction started,
Yeah.
which was like a month prior.
And all of a sudden, bam, Lego
Boom,
store
Lego
in the
store.
Orem
So the
Mall.
reason we found out about it was because there was a listing to get help
Yeah.
for
And-
like opening day. Like, hey, you can come work
Well,
for us
no,
for
it
a
was
day or
even
two.
before that. It was they were hiring the store manager. We found it.
Right.
On,
Yeah,
we
that's
found it
right.
on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like,
so
hey
we were
guys,
like-
they might be getting this.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. So, yeah, this thing just kind of dropped all of a sudden. And I saw one thing, and the first thing I want to look at is Provo Mall. Because Provo Mall sucks.
It's
And there is I was So I was reading this article about how the owner's like, we're gonna make it amazing. It's gonna be the best mall that's ever been a mall. And the phase one, they said, phase one was bringing in Target. Phase two, and I'm like,
Yeah, they opened a Target, and it's actually
which is
quite
fair,
nice
but it's
Target.
funny that that's all phase one. You know, like I feel like phase one should have a little bit more than just, well, Target's open and it's the top layer of the two, you know. But they're gonna remodel it. They have drafts up, and then there's gonna be a whole thing. Apparently, this kind of thing has been done before with Provo Mall. It's kind of a we'll see.
Yeah.
But the stores that are currently in it, namely Cinemark and I think JCPenney, are on board to stay, it seems.
Yeah.
Well, Cinemark's the only thing keeping it.
Yeah,
closed.
there's only
Cinemark is
three-
keeping it alive.
There's 3 reasons to go to Provo Mall: Target, Cinemark, and Wingers.
Well, Red Robin's good.
I was
too.
gonna say Red Robin.
I never go to Red
But let's be
Robin.
real. That is the worst Cinemark in the area.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's other Targets, and there's another Wingers.
Although-
so like all 3 of those things, you can get a different location within 10 minutes.
I would rather go to the other Wingers. I love
Yeah.
Red Robin. I think the FYE in Provo Mall is better than the one in Orem Mall.
Interesting.
Which, not that I go to FYE a lot, but especially if you're
I
looking
think that's
for
because it's brand new.
disc movies. No, it's been there a million years.
So the one in Orem's new. One of
Oh,
them's new.
I don't know.
Anyway, let me explain the history of this right now.
Yes.
Provo Mall. No. Orem Mall opened.
Yeah.
Huge success. Provo
Mhm.
Mall opened. Huge success. Orem Mall sucks now.
Yeah.
Orem Mall remodels. Huge success. Now Provo Mall sucks.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a cycle that's gonna go on forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like
it's just
these
whoever
malls
can
are
remodel.
like 10 minutes away
and
from
meanwhile,
each other.
Cinemark's in both of them, just
Yeah.
raking in the cash.
I know, for real.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
malls are like 10 minutes from each other, literally connected by State Street.
And what made me
Like-
think of this, and what made me question it, is because I was reading this Facebook thing about
Yeah.
the whole remodeling, and a lot of the comments were malls suck and are going the way of the dodo because nobody goes to malls and in-person
Yeah.
stuff anymore, which is fair. But take a look at Orem Mall; it's popping, it's
I
fine.
disagree. I think malls.
Yeah.
I don't think malls will ever go away.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
The reason
I
is,
would like to say
yeah.
that, oh yeah, brick and mortar is in trouble. Nobody really goes anymore. But then you go literally down the same street and you see the antithesis of that argument.
It's because I feel like they adapted pretty well.
Yeah.
At least my local mall in Arizona. I love that mall. It's a great mall. They have a ton of good stores. But they bring in stores that like aren't like, obviously the mall stores have to be different than your normal
Right.
stores, retail locations, whatever. Lego store, they're not going to have. But I feel like there's been an influx in restaurants specifically. Like more malls have more restaurants
Yeah.
and arcades. I've
Mm.
noticed like a bunch of arcades going in,
Arcades.
too.
Now that I'm getting
malls.
older, they're way better than these.
Arcades when you have money.
Oh my
Are
gosh,
kinda
dude.
sick.
'Cause I went to Playjoy, which I believe is in the Orem one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy fat. That was fun, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Heck yeah.
It's freaking fun.
But I think because malls will never go away because kids.
oh yeah,
That's like a thing
Yeah.
to do is go hang out at the mall.
Build a
That's
bear.
true. My only thing with the malls are I don't know what the business behind a mall looks like, but you got to think it's harder than keeping one ship afloat. It's a retail business that relies on many different stores.
Correct.
So like unless like with Provo Mall, unless you have a ton of people doing well, like it's kind of subsidizing, right? The better stores subsidize the worst stores.
well, it's
That's
similar
why-
to a
So
warehouse.
the whole place is able to stay
I
afloat.
feel that's why there's so many malls that have a movie theater. Like every mall
Yeah,
has a movie theater.
That's true.
Like my
Well,
local mall in Arizona had movie theaters.
It's easy though at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You basically build a building with a bunch of different rooms, and then
Yeah.
you just lease it out to people.
yeah.
Well, yeah. So when I'm playing NCAA, sometimes I'll play a team that's really hard to throw deep passes.
yeah.
So now once you're behind 21, you're kind of screwed because there's no way to really pull back ahead. I
Yeah.
feel like that's kind of where the spot Provo Mall is, where it's like now that they're down, how do they attract people to look at that? Because the Orem Mall has a Lego store, and it's
That's hard to
freaking
beat.
great.
And they're right next to a Trader Joe's.
They're right next to a
They've
Trader
got
Joe's.
a
They got
Texas Roadhouse.
They got Texas
They've got
Roadhouse
Cheesecake Factory and P.F. Chang's
and Buffalo
B-Dubs.
Wild Wings
Although Wingers is better, so we'll give that one to Provo Mall.
and that suit store.
Well,
Yeah.
but
Like-
even then, Wingers is down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's another
Wingers
Wingers
down the
near
road.
Orem Mall. Here's the biggest advantage.
So what
I think
on earth can this out of water fish do to
Here's
to
the
suck
thing.
in some air?
This is why I think Provo Mall, it's in South Provo. I'm thinking anything south of downtown is just weird, man.
Yeah, but
It's just freaking weird.
Yeah.
so they have to attract because there's nothing after that. There's no malls.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah, yeah.
So they have to attract to, I wouldn't say all the way down to Nephi, but at least Santaquin, all the way up, because
Honestly, they should just take the Provo Town Center and push it somewhere else.
'Cause,
Like,
and
it would do
coming-
better if it was in Springville.
If you're coming
Probably.
if you're coming from like Santaquin, they're probably like, what's an extra 10 minutes?
well,
We'll
I
go to
just don't
Orange.
Exactly,
understand
yeah.
like what they can do. I agree with you. Like,
Yeah.
what
Like,
are you going to do to
or a
remodel
It's the
model
chum
this?
bucket. How are you
Yeah.
gonna beat the Krusty Krab? You know?
Yeah.
Or a mall has I think the biggest unsaid distinction so far. It's in between UVU and BYU.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
and
right in
it's
the middle.
within walking distance for a lot
Yeah.
of UVU students.
And it's got the tracks there too.
Yeah, and it's not a far drive from
Well, I
BYU. In
mean,
fact, it's closer
have
to
the-
BYU than Provo Mall is.
yeah,
is.
it's
And-
true.
Yeah.
So, but their stores suck. Like their stores in
Yeah.
there, it's like, well, they don't suck. If you're rich, they don't suck. But nobody's rich
Yeah.
that's going there.
Let's
No,
go at
it's
what?
just
Because
you,
Provo
bro.
Mall?
Well, I just mean like
Yeah,
students.
no.
Yeah,
Oh,
Provo
yeah.
Mall.
But
They
yeah.
have all the boring stores like
Yeah.
I don't know, like all the closed stores that are mega expensive.
hmm
I wish malls were more like outlet stores where it's like, oh, you can get this cheaper than you can on online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh, you can get this 10 times more expensive than you
And
can
you're-
online.
I'm just gonna order it online. Yeah.
yeah. You can buy this random ring from a guy in the middle of the store. It's just
Yeah. Oh, hi, sir. Do you want me to clean your shoes? No, they are
I
sandals.
fell for that
And then-
trap
yeah.
with these.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, he did it to me too, at that same mall.
Really? The
Yeah, and I was wearing these Hokas, and I was like, "Why am I letting you
Is it-
spray my feet?
was
These
it
are
a
fabric
was
shoes."
it a guy from Charlotte, South Carolina?
Yes, yes, yes.
no way.
I didn't buy his product,
I
but I
know.
gave him a tip.
He was trying. He was trying to even sell me, and I even pulled the. I already have. I have a similar one at home, bro. I don't need it. I don't.
I
know
would have
why-
bought it. It works good.
Oh yeah,
But
I
it's
don't know
actually cheaper
why-
on the TikTok shop for the exact same thing. I
Why
looked it
did-
up.
Why did and so to the point where I just have. I hate being rude, but I have to be kind of rude. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
No.
Well, it's
Leave me
almost rude
alone.
for them. They force you to be rude.
yeah.
yeah. That's the trick. That's
Do you know something else? I
Like
don't know
he's trying to pitch me, and he's like like my foot's wet, and I'm like, what
Yeah.
just happened?
Well, I'm wearing these. These are
these
you get these soaked. I'm like, all right. I'm I'm just walking
Thanks.
through water now.
Thanks. Now you're like,
yeah. Thanks, dude. My socks are wet for the rest of the day.
Honestly, no, but the
Yeah.
product worked amazing.
Yeah.
But
These are
then I took these to the color festival the next day and
Oh
got them
my god.
all colorful.
oh, wow.
But no, the same mall. I don't feel like I've ever experienced that at a mall. I feel like the Provo and Orem Mall.
That was at the the Murray Mall.
Yeah, but I just
So,
mean
yeah.
at they don't push stuff on you.
Yeah.
This is like
yeah.
I'm living in the movie where everyone's trying to attack me. So I went and there's
You're
this there's this water bottle or it's like a drink mix. And
Yeah.
they're giving out a full like thing, and it's like, oh, this is really good for you. It tastes really good. Has
Yeah.
this, and this in
I
it
would
to
not
do
drink
this.
that. Oh my
I'm
goodness.
fine with it. I drank it. It was the nastiest crap I ever put in my mouth. I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't
What
say
mall
that
is
I'm
this?
drinking. This is the Murray Mall.
Okay.
I went there to get my new phone. It's
Right.
the one with the
Put it
Apple
in your
Store.
mouth.
And so
That's what Provo Town Center could do. Apple
Apple
Store.
Store
Apple
would
Store.
be huge.
That would do
Yeah.
Would
yeah.
be huge.
That
I
would
wonder if
help
they're
them out a
planning on
lot.
that, or I don't even know if they have a big enough.
I
store.
guarantee if they reach out to Apple and Apple's like, nah, we want Orem.
Yeah, straight up they would.
But Orem
They
doesn't have space.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, no, because there's that weird seasonal thing over by Dillard's, that huge store. That's like, dude, that thing's.
That
hanging
is
on.
my Chinese store, always and forever.
Yeah.
You can buy swords
Or-
from there.
Or
oh no, the
Forever
seasonal
21
ones
yeah.
across the state.
Yeah.
Forever 21's going out of business.
Oh,
and like,
yeah.
Oh,
they're
that
gonna-
would work. That would
and
work.
that's a
Over the old
huge-
Victoria's Secret was. We walked past. right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So I'm like, that's a huge
the
spot.
Forever
Like,
21 would be perfect. For
yeah,
them.
for
Mhm.
Apple Store, perfect size.
them. No, that seasonal store is actually really. It's not seasonal. It's just a bunch of little
Crappy
businesses.
decorations.
No, it's not a business. It's it's like
Oh, like-
pre-loved.
okay.
So people
Mm.
can like put stuff in there, like can rent out a booth for a season, I
crazy.
don't know, or a month or
Oh.
something. So we figured that out last time we went because we're like, this ain't that. Like it's like, oh, follow me on Instagram. Oh, this is a different Instagram. Oh, this is like, and then so we looked it up and it was.
That's crazy.
Interesting.
So-
Interesting.
They actually do have some good stuff there if you actually go in
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they have
But
fake
that's
Legos.
at the Orem Mall.
Yeah. I'm just hoping
That is at the Orem
yeah.
Mall.
But hey, new Lego store. I'm very hyped to have a Lego
I'm
store
so
nearby.
it's so good.
Because in Arizona, the Lego store was like 10 minutes from my house. It was sick.
Yeah.
Here, it's like 45 minutes.
Now
although,
it's less than 10 minutes from
Yeah.
your house.
like the old Lego store that's now 45 minutes away, that's like 5 minutes from my work. So
Yeah.
after I got my current job, I'm like, yeah, it's not so bad
So,
anymore.
so have you guys, see those things that you can ride at the mall?
Yeah.
I want to do one. I want to do one so bad.
Well, that's at the Provo Mall.
Yeah,
They're at both, I think.
they have
Really?
one.
I thought they were only
Yeah,
at the Provo Mall.
I've done them before. They kind of suck.
I know they're slow, but like that's cool.
We ain't playing Mario Kart here.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
okay, here's what I think they could do. Here's what I think the game plan is. There are two ways. First, you attract everybody who's not there, so you get Apple. Like that's their saving grace. If they get an Apple store there, they'll be fine.
Yep.
The other way is with my theater way, where you make more casual, like local, like people go there for a reason businesses that like are like more community event type stuff. It's not quite
I
as
feel like
glamorous.
Provo Mall does that a lot though already.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That
Like
they'd
I
have
walked
to-
in and saw a whole D&D thing going
Yeah,
on.
they'd have to like reinforce that kind of thing and spread that more. That's their winning plan if they can't get an Apple store.
Do you know what they did though that I think they'd have to give up if they
What?
made them all better? Is that did you guys see that zombie thing they did
No.
where they turned the entire mall into like
Oh no,
you
I didn't
fight
see that.
zombies?
Oh, that's
I
kinda
feel like they
sick.
need to freaking advertise
Yeah.
because I don't see any of this
Yeah,
stuff.
it was just a
you just
paper.
walk in. There's
It was just
bunch
a
of
piece of
nerds.
paper I saw in
Yeah.
the mall, and I almost did it, but I was busy that week.
I feel like
but
they think
Hey.
that if they advertise in the mall, people will see it. But the problem is nobody's going to the mall,
yeah,
so they don't see it. So
that's
then nobody
true.
ever
And they're
hears
right
about
at the
it.
freeway. They could definitely.
Yeah,
They also do the freeway stuff,
and
the
they have
circus.
and they have the. That's true. They have the.
So I
circus
guess that's
thing
probably
there.
keeping them afloat too.
They have the freaking billboard. That's. Have you ever driven past that thing at night?
Yeah.
Burns in your eyes. It's way
Well,
too bright.
so does that whatever that thing does.
That
That
UVU.
glass building
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
On
On the-
University.
on University.
Oh yeah.
You could see that from the airport.
That
From
thing is
Provo Airport.
bright
Like
as
I went
frick.
at night one time. This
It
this
straight
chick-
up should
this
be
chick
illegal.
Showed me a spot.
Heck yeah.
Hey yo.
Over in the harbor near Provo Airport.
Ah.
Darker was there too. There's no shenanigans. But she's like, yeah, you see that blue light? We're like, what the freak is that? She's like, yeah, that's the billboard on University.
That thing is bright. You're
So
sitting
we can
there
see
at
it
the light,
all
and
the
it's
way up.
giving you seizures when it
Yeah.
switches.
Yeah.
It
no,
is
straight
so
up.
bright.
Straight up.
Anyway,
My biggest other pro I found with Provo Mall, I discovered this recently. That Wingers has a secret menu that other Wingers don't.
Really?
I wonder if other wingers
Virgin pina coladas, bro.
have. So we
Ooh.
getting that right now?
So good.
We
yeah,
gotta
we
go.
Could.
We gotta
could.
go.
What time do they close?
I think they close
Mm.
at 10.
Frick.
Ah.
Oh, it is late.
Yeah.
Late. We started late tonight.
Frick.
Yeah. My bad.
Well, I was
And yours.
15 minutes late too.
Oh yeah.
No, they're already closed. What the freak?
I wonder if the Provo one closes sooner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
close
think
at
the mall
9:30.
closes at 9.
Yeah,
so-
that's probably it.
Closed at
Also,
9:30.
don't
Yeah.
close the mall at 9.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's a
true.
that
every
or-
mall closes.
Yeah, but
at
if
9.
you made that to like 11, because that's what kids do.
It's the same
yeah.
thing
Especially
with
college
the frickin'
kids.
It's the same thing with the social. You put a social in there or the the wash. Those
Oh,
things
that's
close.
just food stuff.
Yeah, but they close way too early.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Get
It's
those in
a
the mall
hangout spot
and
though.
close it at 1. Yeah, get that in the mall. Close it at 1. People will go.
But don't put it next to the nail salon.
Don't put it next to the nail salon.
Like that was Cinnabon. Cinnabon was right next to the nail salon.
They didn't know their demographics. Okay, so that's the
War
first
of
thing
the
on the Lego
malls.
store. The other thing with the Lego store is, do you think Bricks and Minifigs is sweating or doing fine?
Oh, they're so
Are
excited.
they happy about it or are
They're-
they sweating? What do you think?
They were so excited. I know the owner
Really?
of Bricks and Minifigs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's sick.
I started shopping there too much, so he knows me by name.
Nice, nice, nice.
But no, he was like, yeah, you excited? We're super excited. It's gonna
Really?
boost our foot traffic by so much.
That's crazy.
And I was
Why do you
like-
think that
Well,
is?
Brits and minifigures is stuff you can't find.
Yeah,
That's
it's
true,
retired
yeah.
stuff, and it's a resale. It's a Lego pawn shop. It's
Totally,
it's
yeah.
a resale store, not original stuff. So
This is all what I kind of
So
thought, but I
he's
wondered if you
like-
guys had different
he was
thoughts.
talking about it like it's some drug. He's like, yeah, dude. As soon as we can get more Legos in the community, that means we get more donations. Like it
I
just
forgot they
trickles
get
down
donations.
to us.
That's crazy.
Or
Or they
we
buy
get
'em.
we get more people coming in to sell
yeah,
them.
because I felt like it was a good thing
Yeah.
on the whole.
Like the Bricks and Minifigs up in Murray, not far from that Lego store, it's way busier than the Warren
Really?
one. Yeah.
I didn't know there was
And they
even
get-
one up there.
Oh yeah, there's 2 more. There's like
Really?
actually there's 3 up in Salt Lake County.
Wow.
But yeah, so
Who knew?
they're doing really good.
They're just gonna be like, I'm gonna go sell my Legos and I'm buying new Legos.
Don't get high on your own supply.
yeah.
I'm high already, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Garrett's drowning.
I actually packed up all my Legos already.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't believe you.
Well, minus the space stuff, because I don't know how to back that one up yet.
That's fair.
Although my spaceship broke again, you need to fix it.
I can't fix it this time, bucko.
I need to learn. I guess I'll need
Yeah.
I won't have you.
Cool. But yeah, so that is the new Lego store. I think it's fantastic. It's great. As good as any Lego store. Have you been, Garrett?
No. Does
No.
it have the red floors?
No.
No.
Oh, that's so
It's
sad.
actually got gray floors. I've never seen a Lego
Yeah.
I
store like that.
loved, because it was a Disney store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved those
Oh,
floors.
if Provo got a Disney store, that would help too.
They had a Disney store.
I know. but
I don't think they would.
So
I
no,
don't think
Disney.
it's-
So Disney stopped doing Disney stores nationwide. It's not
Really?
just local. So yeah,
Wow.
that was a Bob Chapek thing.
It
It was one of his first things. It's like no
Well-
more in-person retailers. It costs too much money. Online.
Which
Maybe
it
they're back.
does, but
So.
I don't know. Everything he did seemed to tank the business, so
Yeah,
I'm kind of
yeah,
on the other
he-
side of
well,
it.
I
I
agree.
think
I'm
they
like-
should. I wish they brought them out.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Bring
it
back
brings
Disney
in
store.
more money than they lose.
Totally.
Obviously, if it
But
does.
it was just
But it is expensive to do retail stores.
Yeah. That's fair.
So really lame.
Yeah. Well, shall we go to break and do comments?
Yep.
Let's do it. This episode of Hot Tub Talks is sponsored by Pine Lens Productions. Do you have a great business idea, but you're not sure how to break into the social media market? Well, Pine Lens Productions is the company for you. They've helped all kinds of businesses from all across the state of Utah help break into the online market, and they can help you. From editing to animation to ideas to publishing, they're the company that will help you get from zero to hero. Check their Instagram out in the link below. Thanks to Pine Lens Productions for producing and sponsoring this episode.
What happened?
Welcome back.
You were talking about dogs or something. I can't remember.
That is definitely not. You watched the shorts on TikTok. Okay, so Wade doesn't listen to
I
the
forgot.
podcast.
I was busy hosting Brazilians in our offsite.
So, let me just explain one of the comments I saw. We talked about the 100 men versus monkey or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what Josh says he could beat? An elephant.
If I had a spear,
You don't get a spear.
No, I don't think you could. I've been thinking about this. I'm not even joking. Since that. So it's been 2 weeks I've been thinking about this.
Oh my gosh, I'm with Garrett on this.
I don't think you could beat it with a spear.
No.
If you can't, he says he can't beat a bear. You think he could beat an elephant?
Bears are different.
Bears are way easier than an
Dude,
elephant.
an aggressive elephant is one of the most dangerous things on the planet.
Not a
Uh,
hippo.
A hippo's probably would
Yeah.
beat the aggressiveness, but
Yeah.
not to a human. It's gonna kill you no matter
oh my
what.
No, I need
Pull up
really.
the damn
No,
comments.
I need a bigger spear. You guys are thinking like a regular. I'm thinking like a
No.
giant.
You can't
spear.
lift
No.
the bigger spear.
let me tell you why.
Why?
That thing is charging at you. If you impale it, one, it's not gonna kill the elephant, but it's gonna still go through, break that stick, and you're dead.
All right.
You're cooked.
I concede.
Oh my
I
God.
concede. I lose to the
I don't think
elephant.
I don't think he could beat a golden retriever with a spear.
I could beat a golden retriever with a spear.
Yo, you would run away. You'd be too scared
no,
of it.
I'd fight it.
Dogs are significantly harder than most other animals.
Yeah.
Actually, no, dogs are easier than most other animals.
Why?
Because if you have
I think
to,
they'd be harder.
no, you have to accept your arm's gonna probably be cut off after,
Hmm.
but you just take your arm and then you lock it because it's gonna lock onto your arm,
Right.
and then you just beat the crap out of it.
Oh, you're a monster.
I'm saying
Pull up
if
the comments.
it's life or
All
right.
death.
Pull up the
Comments. Here we go.
I also don't think I could beat a badger. Or no, I could beat a badger. I couldn't beat a wolverine.
Stop looking at your email.
Sorry, it's important. It's for tomorrow. I got distracted.
He's-
I have a shoot
Wolverines can
tomorrow.
run 62 miles an hour. I don't
That's
think I'm
crazy.
beating that thing, bro.
But the endurance. All right, we got so many comments.
Let's see.
All right, so here we have. All right, it would be the equivalent of Sacred. This is on the same monkey thing. Sacred 2613 says it would be the equivalent of 104-year-olds against a single adult man, even if it was the strongest and most athletic man we have. No,
For what?
for 100 men versus a gorilla.
You think a 4-year-old versus a single man? Oh, we're the 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
No, I think you could. I think that monkey's putting
So-
40 of us
no,
to
no,
our
no,
grave.
No. So here's the thing. Literally, a zoologist, I was reading about this recently,
Yeah.
came out, expert on gorillas. They asked him, could 100 men, average men?
Yeah.
And he's like, Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think 40 could do it.
Yeah, yeah.
We
Yeah.
talked about that on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, we all
whether
agree. It's
whether
definitely
the
men.
men beat the gorilla by force, I don't think that would happen, but he'd
Yeah.
get exhausted.
It's an endurance
Yeah.
thing. But yeah.
Yeah.
I think 40 could do it.
Well, I think also one beefy man, like you get
And you get
the Rock.
You get
the Rock.
No, you get larger than average dudes. You're telling me the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line can't take down a gorilla?
Yeah, that's true.
But the thing is, it's 100 random men.
Yeah.
But
That's
okay,
fair.
okay, but this guy says 104-year-olds versus one of the O linemen. Dude, that O
Pull up
lineman
pull up his account. I
that
need to
O
see
lineman
this
is
guy.
taking those 4-year-olds on.
Yeah.
Like, all he did is repost this. or post
Reposted
this.
one video.
Anyways,
Trash. Next.
yeah.
he posted
so,
again. What else did he ask?
Okay, he also said it's also specifically proven men overestimate their own ability to fight, as the change in range of your emotional state after getting punched is gonna carry you through the fight. With a silverback gorilla, your punches won't do anything. It's delusional to assume you can win.
100 men though.
And you're not gonna punch the gorilla.
Yeah,
why are we doing this?
Yeah, we're gonna
That
tackle
doesn't make
him
any
and
sense.
hold down his arms.
And then you're gonna beat on him like
Yeah.
you're not gonna be going like
Yeah.
your punches won't do anything. You're right.
Hold on. Pin of shame. Who are
there
you?
Should we pin him?
No, yeah. Actually, just like it.
you go.
Like of shame.
Like of shame.
Like of shame.
Cause yeah, that's just
That's dumb.
wrong.
Yeah.
That's just a bad way to fight him. Now we'd lose if it was 100 of that guy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is talking about him
Elephant
and the.
killing you way fast. Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
no, all right.
yes,
I already
yes.
conceded that fight.
This is what happens when I'm not on the pod. He's being over cocky.
All right. Chris Carr, 5689. I'm not confident that he could beat the average woman with a rock, let alone a
Yes,
dog.
I agree. He's not beating no dog. He's not beating no elephant. No
Yeah.
way.
That's valid. We appreciate you. He needs help putting his clothes on. In the morning.
Yeah, this guy's just
Stop
mean.
it.
Based.
No, this one's correct though. I could beat a whale on land.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh no, that was an elephant one.
All right.
So
Talk.
anyways, a bunch of those.
We are so sorry for our one of our hosts here.
I would like to
Yeah,
apologize
why
for my
is-
previous statement.
This is what I get for not. help-
All right.
not
All
being
right.
on the
Now we
pod.
got the Clips channel. Check us out on Hot Tub Talks
Oh,
Clips.
clips.
There's less. There's less here. I
There's
think
only one.
Yeah, I think the gorilla is gonna win. He's wrong.
100 men, yeah. People are silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 40. I think 40 is the cutoff though.
Yeah.
I think if we put, just do 50, half, I think men are still winning.
Fair. Okay, now we're on to TikTok Studio. These are kind of interesting. So we got lots of love. Okay, ZG Kato says, "Going primal on the dog, brother. I'm gonna get bit, yes, but going berserk. I think most men beat because
The average dog.
His was one average man, one average dog. What do you think, Wade?
You think you'd be an average dog?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes
Like
sense.
my arm's getting messed up, but
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
you're
you're
not
good.
coming out unscratched, but yeah.
No,
you can do it.
totally. Jack Hoffman says, "The man is going to be messed up by the end, but the man takes the dog all day." I agree. Fat Pigeon 1 says, "It depends on the dog breed, though. Like average work dog, house dog, big dog, medium, small."
just average dog.
Average
I
dog.
feel like we're talking about 30-pound dog, maybe 40-pound dog, whatever the house. Let's just say a random dog in the world just spawns in front of you,
Yeah.
and a random man spawns in front of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Garrett's dog, whatever it is.
Now I
Um,
might not beat Garrett's dog.
Atticus, well, he is a
He's
strong
huge, and he's
dog.
Yeah,
strong.
but there's a lot bigger dogs.
No,
than
he's
him.
not big. He's just super strong.
Yeah,
I know, but
he's
a lot.
menacing.
And that's most dogs. That are like
My
that.
dog, I think, would probably be about average. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
average.
And he's a lab with a pointer.
Now
Yeah.
Bryce too has a good point. Dogs' mouths are the only dangerous part of them.
Yeah. So
You
their
seen
claws,
So it's
like
like-
cats, they have claws. Dogs,
Right.
their feet aren't really doing anything,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they don't have that instinct. I don't think anymore to go for the neck.
You can train him for it. It
You
depends.
can't. But
But
I'm
this
just
is
talking
a
about
random dog.
average. It's just
Yeah.
an average
This
dog.
ain't no police dog. Like,
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Cynical sacrilegious says, "To defeat the dog, one must have that dog in him."
agreed. Agreed.
You
I
gotta
like
take
that
your
comment.
dogs out.
Not Sonic 3. In a life or death fight, man is winning every time. The only thing that can hurt you is the mouth on the dog. We have arms and legs to keep distance. Dog bones are also very weak in comparison. I don't know anything about dog bones, but depending on the guy, I think there could be a distance advantage, but I don't think it's that good.
I don't know, but dogs
Because you're
can
going to have to
jump
get close
pretty
enough
far.
anyways. Yeah. The average dog would lose, but it's going to be a lot smaller than the average man. It could probably hurt the guy, though. Yeah.
I'm glad that video popped off.
It got so many comments. Big Jermog says, I would probably land the plane, but staying alive, that's a different question.
So yeah, that was a question
Wade,
we
do you think you can land a plane?
Absolutely.
in
Yeah.
an emergency
Okay,
situation.
actually, caveat: do I have radio access to ATC?
Yes.
Yes, that was a thing.
Yes.
I
If
could
they
land
can-
the plane with
if
help.
they can talk you through it. Actually, like even Smith, who is a pilot,
Yeah.
was like, anyone could do it if you talk them through it. It's
Really?
Yeah.
way easier than you think.
Really?
But if there's no one to talk you through it,
I don't
it's
even
gonna
know
be-
if I
yeah.
could
Yeah.
find the landing gear.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. As long
But,
as you
yeah.
kind of know where the landing gear
If
is. or
someone can talk you through
find
it,
the label.
so here's the other thing too. We've talked about this a lot with Smith because he's like, yes, you can. Anybody can.
yeah, yeah.
It happens more regularly than you think. Like the pilot's incapacitated and someone
Really?
random. Is
Well, that's
just
why they
like-
have a co-pilot though.
Yeah,
isn't it?
smaller planes, not
Oh.
always.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
like,
So it's not a commercial plane.
Yeah.
It's just.
But even then, something happens to both pilots, commercial planes. It's happened. Like,
I've seen it all the
Yeah.
time in
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
clearly.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
If
Tom
it-
Cruise incapacitates the pilot so he can land the plane.
And hey, all I'm just saying is I could land a plane no matter what, with or without help, at least once.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what this guy says. Staying alive, that's a different question.
Yeah.
John Kratos says 100 dudes is so many more than people think.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And Garrett says bro's not being an elephant, which we've beat to death at this point.
Yes.
If anything, we've all killed the elephant.
Hold on.
He's gonna call it. Bro's not beating the elephant.
All right, for one final comment, actually two final comments. The first thing I want to bring up is our standings. Currently, we're trying to make it to 50 for that live show. We've got 30 on the main channel.
We are getting there.
We're actually kind of getting there, yeah. Like it's very steadily going up
wild.
every week. I have a goal to do it by the end of the summer to get to 50. So there's the 30. That's pretty wild. On our Clips channel, we got 13.
Which
so
is
it's
actually a huge step as well.
yeah,
because
because it's caught up to where we were at the beginning. And our TikTok has where are we at?
5,000.
5,000. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Wait. Go back to the comments
On TikTok.
on TikTok. Yeah. Right here.
Here we go.
Oh wait,
Oh.
there's a new one.
No
way,
okay,
bro is
okay,
beating an
yeah,
elephant.
that's Wade. I see it.
I don't know where
I
to
see it.
tell.
Maybe it's at
I
home.
actually have a fun story.
Oh,
on
17
TikTok
at the
comments
top.
Recently.
Oh,
right there.
there it is, 17. So it looks like this is the one that'll do it.
So make
unless
sure you
somebody else-
subscribe, and you'll see us on in our sexy bodies.
Yep, in a
Oh,
hot
God.
tub.
In a hot tub.
In a hot tub, because once we get to 50, we're gonna have a live
And
stream.
we're
in a
gonna
hot
make
tub.
sure we ruin all of Josh's equipment.
Yeah, that'll be it.
I actually have a fun story about TikTok comments recently.
Yeah, go
Back
for
in December, because the Cavaliers were the 1 seed.
it. Uh-huh.
People online were talking about the Donovan Mitchell legacy, redemption, blah blah blah, and I just like replied to the comment, and I was like, "Dude's capping out in the second round.
Yeah.
That's as high as he goes. Get used to it."
Uh,
And I got a ton of hate for it, like multiple people. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know ball. Who's gonna beat them in the East? Blah blah blah. They're going to the finals.
yeah.
I was like, fine, I'll be back. Yesterday, they got eliminated in the second round. And I went back. I had to go back through like the settings in TikTok to find like my comment history.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I responded to like all 15 of them. I was like, F you. I'm right. I told you. I
you
was
so
don't
hilarious.
know how bad I
That's
want to get in some
hilarious.
internet beef.
Oh my
That's so
gosh.
funny.
It's so
I think it'd be
funny.
so fun.
Well, I'm gonna start some internet beef with Wade because I want you guys to look at this. Now, I don't know if this is sus or not, but I want you to check. Look at our views, okay? Now we've had a couple of our freaks in a row. Here we have our regulars. It's a couple hundred views each, right? And then we hit a Just Wade episode, 5, 5, 5, or no, there's a combined actually. And then we got a Garrett episode, and then we got a Wade episode, and then we've got a Garrett episode.
Well, it's because Garrett's cute, bro.
Let's
anyways.
just talk about how this is the first podcast in like a month
Yeah, with all
that
three
we're
of
all
us.
here.
That's true.
Dude,
That's
it's been
true.
such a crazy month.
So anyways, I it's really because every other week that we drop off, it does this. and it shadow bans our account. But Wade's always been in the off week, so it looks like whenever it's just me and Wade,
It's
views
bad.
get
Pull
one.
up the chicken.
Our channel got 39,000 views in the last month
Sick.
and 16,000 views in the last 28 days on that one. as
Pretty
well.
good.
It's pretty crazy.
Keep it up,
right?
chat.
So we're having a good time. We're doing it good, and we will
And to
see you
everyone
next
who
week.
keeps spamming me
Garrett,
about it,
Garrett, you want to
we're here.
send us off?
Absolutely. Hey, we just want to appreciate everyone for being here with us. We love you all. Make sure you get us. We just literally need 20 more, and you'll be joining us for a live.
We'll make it to. Did you ever think
podcast.
this could make it to 50 followers?
I hope.
I hope.
50 isn't that much.
Yeah, it's true.
You guys got to do it before he moves, bro?
That's true.
I mean, I'll be back to do it anyway. It'll happen no matter what.
Yeah.
And he'll be back for the live stream. We got to figure out. We got to talk about that.
All right. So
Anyway.
thank you everyone for being here. Make sure you all share your podcast with your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your grandpa.
And your mom's deadbeat boyfriend.
If you have that, yes. We appreciate you all. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Hot Tub Talks Official, YouTube Clips channel, and our YouTube channel. Yeah. Is it just Hot Tub Talks for the regular one?
Yeah.
YouTube one?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we have a TikTok at Hot Tub Talking, and you can listen to us anywhere where you can find podcasts. This is produced by Pineland Productions and
Which
sponsored
just started
by
Legacy Films. Anyways.
and sponsored by Fossils. Bye-bye.
Bye.